friends to do things that you never thought you could do. Over. When I was young, I looked up to my grandfather on mother's side. He lived in Florida, and we just had a great bond, and I always looked up to him. Over. Well, physically, probably the spacewalk training was the hardest. Mentally, it was probably studying the Russian language, which we have to do because we're flying on Russian vehicles now. Over. That's a common thing that astronauts feel, but I was lucky enough not to feel any of those. Over. I was very relaxed sitting on the launch pad for about 3 hours before launch. I was thinking about my family, but also thinking I was right where I was supposed to be. Over. In general, it doesn't have any effect. I've taken my blood pressure several times. We have to do it every month up here. They pack some Russian food for us. They're kind of survival rations, so they're not the best food. It's definitely nice to get to the space station and have much better food. Over. Hardest thing for me is just missing my family. 3 children and a wife, and just missing them is the hardest thing, especially over the holidays. Over. Great question. We're really lucky up here. We have email, which is pretty much instantaneous now, so we can communicate that way. We also have a phone system that we can use, so I talk to my wife every day pretty much, and my kids probably 3 or 4 times a week. Over. Well, we're getting ready to do a spacewalk on Friday, and the simulations we did for that and this giant pool that we have in Houston is going to pay off greatly on Friday when we go outside for our spacewalk. Other things are the simulators for the Soyuz spacecraft that we launched in and got here in. Those are very good as well as the space station trainers themselves in Houston and in Russia. Over. Well, we got a few things to do. Looking out the window is a favorite, just taking pictures of our beautiful planets, very fun. For me, I'm a big sports fan, so I love every now and then they'll send up live football games, so I know you guys are getting ready to watch Alabama on Monday, so I'll be excited to watch that as well. Over. Interesting question, Connor. Some are easier and some are harder. It just depends. You have to think a lot more about just mundane things that you wouldn't have to think about on Earth just because everything floats here. You can't just set something down and expect it to be there when you come back. Over. We have a lot of medications and we have a lot of equipment to take care of about anything. Some astronauts are doctors, but none of us on this crew are. But we have people like myself who are trained to take care of the basic things, and then if something happened to anybody, we could talk to a real doctor, a flight surgeon at NASA that would guide us through any situation. Over. Yeah, very good question. We just had the election, as you know, and at the time I was the only American on board, so I was able to vote from space, so that was kind of a neat thing that I'll always remember. Over. Another interesting question. We don't have the ability to wash anything up here, so we wear it until we can't stand it anymore, and then we just put it in the trash. Over. Think about the way we do things on Earth very much because it's so cool up here and just everything floating around and just enjoying this environment. But as I get closer to going home, I think I'll start thinking a lot more about doing things on Earth like you mentioned. Over. There's not a minimum age, at least on the American side, but we do look for a lot of requirements, education requirements and work experience and things like that usually get you to your around 30 to 40 years old, believe it or not, before you can get all those things that NASA's looking for. Over. Looking out the window at our planet and just seeing it from this perspective is just absolutely amazing. It's absolutely beautiful, and all of us enjoy doing that. Over. Well, I hope you guys, it sounds like you've been studying space quite a bit leading up to this, and that's great. And you just have an awareness that most Americans, believe it or not, don't have because they don't understand the space station probably as well as you do now after studying it for a while. So I applaud you for that, and hopefully you'll keep looking for us. You can see us fly over Rainbow City, too. If you go to the internet, you can check out and see when we're going to fly over. And go watch us, because we're going to have a spacewalk like I mentioned on Friday. We'd love to have you guys check us out while we're outside. Over. We're really looking forward to it. We're going to go help the space station replace some batteries that need to be replaced on the outside of the station. So I'm going outside with Peggy Whitson. It'll be her 7th spacewalk. She'll actually set the record tie the record actually for women with a number of spacewalks. So that'll be a great milestone for her. This will be my third spacewalk. Both of us spacewalked about 8 or 9 years ago, so it's been a while. So we're really looking forward to going outside. Over. All right, November Alpha 1 Sierra Sierra, signing out. Over.